Most men lose the war before breakfast. They open their eyes to the sound of an alarm, already defeated. They reach for their phones within seconds, already enslaved. They surrender their sovereignty to the chaos of the world before their feet touch the floor. This is not living. This is drifting with style. There is another way, and that difference built a $475 million empire from nothing. Let me be clear. The morning is not preparation for the empire. The morning is the empire. Every fortune, every legacy, every monument that outlasts breath, it all begins in the first hour you claim for yourself, not the hour the world claims from you. The hour you take before the world even knows you exist. The secret that separates the Titan from the masses is this: sovereignty is not given. It is declared every single morning, before the sun, before the noise, before the demands. And in that declaration, everything is built. What you are about to learn is not theory. It is the exact ritual practiced for over 40 years, the same ritual that transformed a penniless immigrant into the wealthiest man of his era. The same ritual that Jim Rohn later echoed when he said, "Either you run the day or the day runs you." Most men let the day run them, and then they wonder why their lives feel like a race they never signed up for. You are about to see the difference. Consider Pittsburgh, 1880. A young man arrives with ambition, but no empire. He works in the steel mills, surrounded by men who wake the same way every day, reactive, rushed, resentful. They stumble out of bed when the factory whistle demands it. They eat when hunger demands it. They think when crisis demands it. They are not men. They are instruments, played by the world. Watch them for months. Watch them work 14-hour days and die poor. Watch them complain about their wages while spending their evenings in taverns, rehearsing their grievances instead of their goals. Watch them surrender the only hours they could control, the early morning hours, to sleep, to fear, to inertia, and then observe the decision that changes everything. The refusal to be an instrument, the commitment to be the composer. The next morning, the alarm sounds at 5, not because a whistle demands it, because sovereignty commands it. The room is still dark, the city is silent, and in that silence, a discovery unfolds that the drifting man will never know. The morning belongs to the one who claims it first. That morning, in the cold, unlit room, a question is asked that becomes a daily ritual. What empire will I build today? Not what will I survive today? Not what will I react to today? But what will I build? The difference between those two questions is the difference between a fortune and a paycheck. Here is what most men do not understand. The morning is not about coffee and routines. It is about sovereignty. It is about deciding who governs your mind before the world tries to govern it for you. When you wake up and immediately check your phone, you have surrendered. When you wake up and immediately react to the needs of others, you have surrendered. When you wake up and let the world set the tone of your thoughts, you have surrendered your empire before you even put on your clothes. The legacy man refuses to surrender. Every morning for 40 years, the same ritual. It was not complicated, it was not mystical, but it was non-negotiable, and it built everything. Let me show you exactly what was done. The ritual has 3 phases. Call them the Three Sovereignties. Most men never claim even one. The Titan claims all 3, every single day, and it makes him untouchable. The first sovereignty is silence. Before speaking to anyone, before reading anything, before allowing a single external voice into the mind, there is silence. 15 minutes. No exceptions. This is not meditation in the modern sense. This is fortification. You are building a wall around your consciousness before the siege begins, because the world will lay siege to your mind the moment you open the door. The news will tell you what to fear. Your employees will tell you what went wrong. Your competitors will tell you what you lack. And if you have not fortified your mind first, you will spend the entire day in reactive mode, defending a position you never chose. Silence is the refusal to let the world speak first. In those 15 minutes, nothing is done. Nothing is thought. Simply sitting, letting the noise of yesterday drain out. The fears, the resentments, the distractions, letting them evaporate in the stillness. This is not laziness. This is warfare. You are clearing the battlefield so you can see the enemy clearly. Most men wake up with their minds already full of yesterday's failures, full of tomorrow's anxieties, full of other people's opinions. They spend their entire lives trying to think clearly through the fog. The sovereign clears the fog before thinking at all. 15 minutes of silence. That is the price of sovereignty. And here is what happens when you pay that price. Clarity. Not the cheap clarity of a motivational quote, but the bone-deep clarity of a man who knows exactly what he wants and exactly what he will sacrifice to get it. After 15 minutes, the second sovereignty begins. The second sovereignty is purpose. A journal rests beside the bed. Every morning after the silence, it opens to one sentence. Just one. But it is the most important sentence of the day. Today I will, not today I hope to, not today I might, but today I will. This is the definite chief aim that Napoleon Hill later taught the world. But it was not learned from a book. It was learned from necessity. Because a mind without a definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder. It uses massive energy to go nowhere. Every morning, purpose is declared. Sometimes it is a financial target. Today, I will secure the contract with the Pennsylvania Railroad. Sometimes it is a character target. Today, I will not indulge resentment, no matter the provocation. Sometimes it is a strategic target. Today, I will identify the weakest link in my operation and eliminate it. But it is always definite, always singular, always declared. Here is why this matters. Most men have 100 vague desires and 0 definite purposes. They want success, they want wealth, they want respect. But when you ask them what success looks like in a single sentence, they freeze. Their plans are merely wishes wrapped in the language of hope. Hope is a beautiful thing, but it is a poor architect. The empire was not hoped for, it was declared. Every morning, one sentence, one target, one non-negotiable outcome. And here is what happens when you do this for 40 years. The universe stops negotiating with you. It simply rearranges itself to accommodate your declaration, not because you are special, but because you are definite. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you declare a purpose with absolute clarity, you create a vacuum that reality must fill. The opportunities, the people, the resources, they appear not because you wished for them, but because you commanded them into existence with the force of a singular focus. This is the alchemy the 99% will never practice. They think wealth is about working harder. It is not. It is about thinking sharper. And sharp thinking begins with a sharp purpose, declared every single morning before the world has a chance to make you vague. 15 minutes of silence, one sentence of purpose. That is 2 sovereignties. But the third is where most men collapse, even if they master the first 2. The third sovereignty is the sovereign's hour. After purpose is declared, 1 hour is claimed, not to work, not to react, but to build the mental architecture that will govern the rest of the day. This hour divides into 3 parts. The first 20 minutes, reading, not newspapers, not gossip, not the distractions of the day, philosophy, strategy, the writings of men who built empires before, Marcus Aurelius, Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, anything that fortifies the mind against the weakness of mediocrity. Why? Because you become what you consume. If you consume the news, you become reactive. If you consume gossip, you become small. If you consume the wisdom of titans, you become one. Most men fill their minds with garbage and then wonder why their lives feel like a landfill. The sovereign fills his mind with empires, and empires are what he builds. The second 20 minutes, planning. The definite purpose for the day is broken into steps, not vague steps, concrete actions. Who will be spoken to? What will be said? What obstacles are anticipated? What resources will be needed? This is the difference between a dreamer and a builder. The dreamer says, I want to build a railroad. The builder says, today I will meet with the surveyor at 10. I will negotiate the land contract by noon. I will secure the initial investment by 3. Specificity is power. Vagueness is death. 20 minutes turning purpose into plan. And by the time those 20 minutes are over, success is not hoped for. It is engineered. The final 20 minutes, movement. Physical movement. Not exercise in the modern sense, but deliberate movement to remind the body that it serves the mind, not the other way around. Walking, stretching, breathing deeply, reminding the flesh that it is the servant, not the master. Because a man who is governed by his body, by his cravings, his laziness, his comfort, is not a sovereign. He is a slave. 20 minutes of movement, not to build muscle, to build discipline. By the time that hour is complete, something has been done that most men never do in their entire lives. Complete self-governance before the world has a chance to govern at all. Silence, purpose, the sovereign's hour. That is the morning, every morning, for 40 years, and it builds everything. Now let me tell you what happens when you do not do this. You wake up to an alarm. Already you are in reactive mode. Something external is dictating your state. You check your phone. Now you are consuming other people's priorities, other people's problems, other people's agendas. Your mind, which should be a fortress, is now an open marketplace where anyone can set up a stall and sell you fear, distraction, or inadequacy. You rush through breakfast, you rush through your commute, you arrive at work already exhausted, not from effort, but from chaos. And you spend the rest of your day reacting, putting out fires, answering emails, attending meetings that accomplish nothing. You are busy, you are tired, but you are not building anything. This is the life of the drifting man, and it is a tragedy, because the drifting man has the same 24 hours as the Titan, the same access to silence, the same access to purpose, the same access to the sovereign's hour. But he does not claim it. He surrenders it. And then he wonders why his life feels like a series of accidents instead of a series of conquests. Let me be very clear. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victim of your mornings. Change your mornings, and you change your life. It is that simple, and it is that difficult. Consider the objection. Carnegie, I do not have time for a 2-hour morning ritual. I have responsibilities. I have a family. I have a job that starts early. Here is what was told to a young man in 1885 who said the exact same thing. You are correct. You do not have time, because you have already given your time to everyone else. Your boss owns your day. Your family owns your evening. The world owns your attention. And you? You own nothing, not even the first hour of your own life. He stared in silence. So here is your choice. You can continue to give everyone else your best hours and keep the scraps for yourself. Or you can take back 1 hour, just one. The hour before the world wakes. And in that hour, you can build the foundation of a life that belongs to you. He started waking at 5 the next morning. 10 years later, he owned 3 factories. You do not lack time. you lack sovereignty. And sovereignty is not given, it is taken. Wake up 1 hour earlier. That is all. 1 hour before the world demands you. 1 hour before your phone buzzes. 1 hour before the chaos begins. In that hour, practice the three sovereignties. Silence. Purpose, the sovereign's hour. Do this for 30 days and you will not recognize your life. Do this for a year and you will not recognize yourself. Let me tell you about a morning that almost destroyed everything. It was 1889. A series of investments had collapsed overnight. More money lost in a single week than most men earn in a lifetime. That morning, for the first time in years, the desire to stay in bed was overwhelming. Lying there in the dark, a feeling arose that had not been felt in a long time. Fear. The ghost of poverty was whispering, "You are finished. You are a failure. You will lose everything." And in that moment, a choice presented itself. Listen to that voice. Stay in bed, surrender to the fear, or do what had been done every single morning for the past 9 years. The choice was made, rising, sitting in silence, 15 minutes, letting the fear drain out like poison from a wound, opening the journal, writing, "Today I will rebuild," and then claiming the sovereign's hour, reading, planning, moving. By the time the sun rose, the man who had woken in fear was gone. In his place stood the man who had declared war on fear. And he won. Within 6 months, not only were the losses recovered, the fortune had doubled. That morning taught a lesson never forgotten. The morning ritual is not for the easy days. It is for the days when you want to quit. It is for the days when the world has beaten you down and you do not think you can stand back up. The ritual is the thing that stands you back up. It is not motivation. Motivation is a spark that dies the moment the wind blows. The ritual is a forge, and in that forge you are reborn every single morning, no matter how many times yesterday tried to kill you. Here is what you must understand. The morning ritual is not about productivity. It is not about efficiency. It is not about squeezing more work into your day. It is about identity. Every morning, you are deciding who you are. The drifting man wakes up and lets the world decide for him. The Titan wakes up and declares it. When you practice the three sovereignties, you are not just planning your day. You are forging your character. You are programming your subconscious. You are telling the universe, "This is who I am. This is what I build. This is the standard I will not compromise." And when you do this for long enough, something extraordinary happens. You stop needing to force yourself to be disciplined. Discipline becomes your nature. You stop needing to remind yourself of your purpose. Purpose becomes your breath. This is what the Fortune Codex calls instinctive sovereignty. You do not think about being a titan. You simply are one. And it all starts in the morning, in the silence, in the declaration, in the sovereign's hour. Let me give you the exact steps. No philosophy, just action. Tonight, before you go to bed, set your alarm for 1 hour earlier than you normally wake. If you wake at 7, set it for 6. If you wake at 6, set it for 5. When the alarm goes off, do not negotiate. Do not hit snooze. Do not check your phone. Get up immediately. Go to a quiet place. Sit down. Close your eyes. 15 minutes of silence. Do not meditate. Do not pray. Just sit. Let the noise drain out. After 15 minutes, take out a journal. Write one sentence. Today, I will. Fill in the blank with your definite purpose for the day. One goal, one target, one non-negotiable outcome. Then, give yourself the sovereign's hour. 20 minutes reading something that fortifies your mind. 20 minutes planning your day in specific, concrete steps. 20 minutes moving your body deliberately. That is it. That is the ritual. Do this tomorrow. Do this the day after. Do this for 30 days without missing a single morning, and then come back and tell me your life has not changed. A $475 million empire was built. But the empire was never the point. The point was the man who became in the process of building it, and that man was forged in the mornings, in the silence, in the purpose, in the sovereign's hour. The empire was just the shadow cast by a man who refused to drift. You have the same choice. You can wake up tomorrow and let the world run you. Or you can wake up tomorrow and run the world. The alarm will go off either way. The sun will rise either way. The day will begin either way. The only question is, will you be sovereign or will you be a servant? Most men will finish this message and return to their old rhythms. They will feel a spark of inspiration and then let it die the moment their comfort is challenged. They will die with their mornings still enslaved, leaving nothing behind but the ghost of what they could have been. But you are not most men. You would not have watched this far if you were. You are the one who understands that the throne is not given, it is claimed every single morning, before the world wakes, before the noise begins, before the chaos tries to steal your sovereignty. The morning is your empire. Build it with the same ruthlessness you would build a fortune. Defend it with the same ferocity you would defend your legacy. And in time, you will not need to chase success. Success will have no choice but to bow to the man who owns his mornings. The vault is open. The ritual is yours. What will you build tomorrow morning? Wake sovereign. Build your echo.